Hi everybody and welcome to a video where I will take a look at Sword Weirdos, the follow-up to Space Weirdos. I have several Space Weirdos battle reports on my channel, check them out if you haven't done so already. But now I thought I would check out the natural follow-up to Space Weirdos, and that is Sword Weirdos. Both games are developed by Garsky Games, but are they exactly the same? Well, the short answer is no. Let's take a look at how Sword Weirdos and Space Weirdos are the same and how they are different. First of all, Sword Weirdos uses the same dice mechanic as Space Weirdos with dice types. And also the stick movement is exactly the same. But one huge difference is that Sword Weirdos, of course, is in a fantasy setting. And if you want to check out the rules of the game, you can buy and print out this small scene with all the rules included, as well as questions and pre-made warbands. I first thought that Sword Weirdos was exactly the same as Space Weirdos, but there are quite a few differences. One of the first differences is that you don't have a stat for shooting and melee. In Sword Weirdos, you only have one combined stat to fight with, and that is might. So you have speed and defense as willpower, as you also have in Space Weirdos, but the other stats are combined into might. With a fantasy setting, the combat is also more focused on melee, so there is also a gang up mechanism. If you are more models that surround one model, you will get bonus. Sword Weirdos takes you a step further when you create your warband, because now you can choose classes. And that enables you to create a fantasy warband with just the fantasy archetype that you want. These professions or classes, there are several to choose from, and they will benefit you with special powers and abilities. And there is, of course, also a cost. Some of them are cheaper than others. But that's really cool that you can create a huge variety of different classes. Then you have maneuvers instead of command points. These are typically combined with weapons, for example, a shield that you can block with, or different classes. There are also a few general maneuvers, like, for example, regroup, that we also have in Space Weirdos. So you have maneuver points, and you can spend them on these special maneuvers if you have a weapon or a situation where it's possible. The game encourages you to take a look at your specific model, and what you see is what you get. So look at the model, in this case, a pirate type with a curved sword and a crossbow, and then see if you can find these exact weapons and combinations in the rules. In this case, for example, we have a character here with a torch and a book. Is it possible to create a warband member with these exact weapons? And the short answer is yes, it is. The weapon tables have a huge variety of different weapons in different categories, and you will find almost all the typical weapons that you use in fantasy or medieval types of games. The weapons are categorized into melee weapons, ranged weapons, natural weapons, etc. So there are a lot more to choose from than in Space Weirdos. So why not try to create a character for my upcoming Sword Weirdos battle report? Here we have one of the models that I intend to use. This is Thorgren, and he has a huge shield and a sword. And, well, let me see if it's possible to go into the Warband builder and create Thorgren here. You can access the Warband builder in any browser. So the name Thorgren, let's go for a class. To me, he could look like a pit fighter, so let's take that. He will have a speed of 2. He will 2d8 in defense, yeah, why not? Might, and he will keep his 2d6 in willpower. So let's see if we can find a sword as his first weapon. There are 3 types of swords. Next up, a shield. And of course, it's also here. And you could add further weapons if you want to. But so far, let's check out how Thorgren looks. And you will get all the maneuvers and special properties of the weapons when you use the Warband builder. Thorgren is not a leader, but if you have a leader, he will have leader traits as well as Warband traits. That's the same as Space Weirdos, and some of the Warband traits are the same. There are also new Warband traits in Sword Weirdos. I really like this simple approach of Space Weirdos, and when I first read the rules to Sword Weirdos, I was a bit worried that the many choices of your class and weapons and properties, and also a more developed spellcasting system, was a bit too complicated, a step in a complicated direction. But I have decided to run a Sword Weirdos campaign now and check it out to see how it works. And I am fascinated by the possibility to create your own fantasy character just based on the model you have in your hand. Speaking of campaign, there are no official campaign rules, but I have made some on my own, inspired by other Sword Weirdos players and other games, so I'm going to test them as well as the game itself. So right now, I will make the rest of the Warband for my Sword Weirdos campaign. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you'll join me for future videos.